Hi, I'm Brooke, Senior Manager of Business Development here at Widelity. Want to know the basics about broadband funding? I am here to guide you through the process of broadband funding. Throughout this educational series, we will explore the steps involved in preparing for a grant opportunity, how to apply, and what to expect come post-grant award. Let's start with how to prepare your application. First, choose where you want to build your project. You will need to identify your network build-out locations and research the needs of the area you wish to serve, as well as any benefits you can provide them. We recommend looking at area demographic information, understanding the broadband needs of the community, knowing the current level of service of the area, existing infrastructure, potential environmental factors, and any tribal entities nearby. Some helpful resources as you research and plan your project are listed here and linked in the comments section of this video. Next, you will decide which grant program matches your project and company's needs. To do this, you will need to determine the scope of your funding, how you will source matching funds, any potential partnerships, and any existing broadband resources you may have to utilize in your project. For timing, you will want to know which funding programs are currently available or coming soon, and if you want to apply for a grant or a loan. Widelity is very knowledgeable about all the available broadband funding opportunities and can be your guide to find the right funding program for you. This is a list of federal agencies that are typically the sources of federal broadband funding. The FCC, which oversees regulatory matters, the USDA, which specializes in rural projects, the NTIA is focused on commerce, and the U.S. Department of Treasury, which specializes in funding state and local governments. Here, you can see a list of the current broadband funding programs as of 2023. You can identify which agencies are running which programs, and then the purpose of those funding projects. I won't go into detail on specific programs as this is an overview of the general funding process, but if you have questions regarding any of these programs, Widelity would be happy to help. The next component in the process is to create a project design. Utilizing engineering resources, you will want to create a project design using your current network information and plan for where you want to apply for grant funding. Typically, this is not a detailed engineering plan for building the network, but instead a high-level design that shows where you will build and how you will connect to your existing network. Some things to consider as you're making your design. What type of service will the project provide and with what technology? What is the scope of the build? Are you starting from scratch or adapting existing systems? How do you plan to connect the intended service area? All of these have important answers that you will need to know as you format your plan. Next is to create a project budget. You will want to list out everything that will be required to complete this project from start to finish. This includes all expected project costs such as construction materials, technology components, labor, fees, permits, waivers, and more. Also, any administrative costs that come along with managing a grant like this. Accounting fees, legal fees, application expenses, post-award reporting compliance costs, project management costs, and more. Make sure to be thorough. You cannot request more funds after an application has been submitted. Any costs not accounted for in your original budget will need to be paid for out of pocket. Another important note, many federal programs require that materials be sourced here in the United States and meet the Build America, Buy America requirements. Keep this in mind as you are picking your vendors and getting quotes to build your budget. Finally, we recommend that you outline your project at a high level by writing down a few bullet points about your project. You should identify what the purpose of your project is, your estimated overall budget, where you plan to build, how you will do it, what technologies you will use, and any additional project items. With all these preparations complete, you are now ready to apply. Remember, Widelity can assist you with your application needs. Stay tuned for our next video.